Everybody ready? Good. Then let's get going. Nearly forgot you guys. Hey everyone, a really warm welcome back. Hope you're well. Thanks so much for joining us. Anybody who knows me in real life knows I'm probably over prepared for everything that could possibly happen. So today I'm going to put some Kojak jacking points on the bottom of the caravan, so they screw directly into the Alco chassis itself, and that makes it much easier to get a jack in underneath the caravan and to jack it up safely with a nice secure point if we ever need to, rather than trying to fiddle around underneath and get it under the axle and hope everything balances properly while you try and jack the caravan up. Anyway, that's today's job. I think you guys are going to have a much better view than I can because the chassis is very low, so I've got to lie on a picnic mat and sort of work upside down and try and figure everything out. Well, I can put you on a GoPro on a tripod looking directly at where the work's going on. Anyway, let's get outside and get on with it. So let's get this thing out of the box and assembled. And we have instructions. Heavy box, presumably the bottle jack in here. Some mini spirit levels and 1 and 2 brackets. Okay, let's check this jack out. Of course, if you do need to jack your caravan up, remember to chock the opposite wheels, make sure the handbrakes are on the caravan and the car, and make sure the car is attached to the front of the caravan, and then nothing can roll in an unexpected direction as you're jacking the thing up. Oh, it's really oily actually, so I will leave it in the box but show you. And for once I'm actually going to check the instructions. Looks pretty obvious, but it's good to know that the bolts need torquing up. Okay. Now it seems pretty clear. Just find the pre-drilled holes on the existing chassis and then bolt it on into place through those holes. And actually, if there are other Eriba Feeling owners watching this, I need to let you know at this point that this was one of the reasons why I chose an Alco Mammoth mover for the Feeling itself. If you've owned an Eriba or a folding camper or something like a Trigano Silver Caravan or something, all of those things have quite low chassis, and so you'll know it's common for the mover to actually be put behind the wheel rather than in front of it, where it goes on conventional UK caravans, and that helps with the clearance because of the lower chassis. So if I'd have had the normal Reich mover on this Eriba Feeling, then it probably would have gone on behind the wheel and blocked these points. So just something to be aware of if you happen to own a caravan with a slightly lower than normal but still Alco chassis. Right, so let's just hand tighten these bolts first to get it all into place, and then I'll get the socket set out. And of course, ideally you need 2 19mm sockets to do this, but can I find the second socket set? No, I can't. So if you happen to be, like me, led down on a picnic mat with quite a lot of you under the caravan, then send for an assistant to bring some spanners and some spare hands.
And of course everything is so low down here that it has to be done by hand and by feel, and it makes no sense to be working the right way up and trying to reach my arm underneath and back up again, because one, it won't bend in that direction, and two, I can't actually reach anyway. So lying upside down and then working above and having to go by feel is the only way it's going to be done.
What do you say?
19 mil.
There you go.
Oh, thank you. Both ends?
Pardon? Yes.
Stupid chassis thing in the middle. Top. I can't actually get something around. Let's try the bottom one.
You put it sideways.
Okay, got it. Oh, yes. Well, it would be if it stayed on.
So can this be used for leveling?
Well, we can lift the whole thing up, shove some blocks under and then put it down again.
I see.
We can't leave it on the bottle jack. I did ask them that.
Right, so it's still a manual thing.
Yeah. So of course you can jack your caravan up using a strong enough jacking point, and that's on the axle, but frankly I'm not confident about doing that, and certainly not with my slightly flimsy car jack. I'm not sure that will be stable enough or actually not slip when I'm trying to jack the thing up. Ow. So I'm not convinced that will be safe enough, and you know, I've got no intention of carrying a massive trolley jack around. That just isn't going to happen. And of course, were we to have a big blowout on a motorway or something like that, then of course as soon as I've got the kids and myself to somewhere safe, then obviously I'll be summoning the Mayday rescue folks. So I very much doubt that this will ever be used, but you know, it's one of those things that gives peace of mind, and it's good to know it's here just in case we're in the middle of nowhere or have something minor to sort out, and we'll just get on with it ourselves. Then the other thing to say, of course, is that the chassis on this particular caravan is lower than most, which makes it brilliantly stable to tow, and we only need a single step to hop inside. But it probably does mean, though, that if we do have some sort of bad flat, then I'll have to lift the wheel up onto the lock and leveling ramp thing that I have in order to actually get the bottle jack under here in the first place. I think that's a problem for a lot of people, having to loosen their spare wheels from underneath anyway. But, you know, all of that rigmarole would still be easier than trying to get a normal jack under the axle, that's for sure. Okay, well that was really annoying. You think, you know, it's only 2 bolts, but when you're trying to fit them, well, you can't see what you're doing and you can't get your muscles on the right angle. And also they're nylock nuts, so really it's quite tight to get them fitted. You know, they don't spin like normal ones. You've really got to work the whole bolt all the way through the nut itself to get the thing to fit. And of course everything is jiggling around, which is not helpful. So really it is a two-person job, and you need to work very closely with that other person, so do make sure you're very comfortable around them. Anyway, I just need to get these things torqued up, and actually the nuts are still spinning here, but by the time I've got the torque set properly, then we will be done. Oh, and just to mention that these things are advertised as for both jacking and levelling, and personally, you know, I think that levelling claim is really quite cheeky. If you're going to use this to level, you've got to get the caravan jacked up, get it to where it's level, and then put blocks under the wheels, and then lower the caravan back down onto the blocks. So, you know, that's what the manufacturer claims as a levelling device, but you can see why I think it's a little bit misleading. Anyway, so we've got it on. Now that was an absolute pig to fit, you know, getting all those arms and spanners and wrenches and things into position when you couldn't see what you were doing. It was dark and disgusting under there, and it was really difficult to get arms and wrenches and so on in the right sort of places, so it was a total pain in the rear. Okay, now somehow I'm not too disgusting despite being under the caravan most of the morning. That is a miracle. And here's how it looks in place. There's a receiver bar on the bottom of the bracket, and then there's a recess on the top of the bottle jack. So that recess just clips on over the receiver bar, well, not clips on, sort of just rests into place, but it stops everything wiggling around and potentially keeps everything a lot safer, and hopefully makes things much easier to get the caravan jacked up if needed.
All right, well, that's it. I've got the levelling points in, so I know if we ever need that, then that little job's going to be much easier and a whole lot safer. Hopefully we'll never need them, but you never know. At least we're prepared. Anyway, we're heading off this weekend, and the caravan hasn't been used for a while, so I'm going to go and check the tyre pressures and the torques and all that stuff. But for you guys, thanks so much for watching. Great having you here. Please do hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're so inclined. And if you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down twice, at least. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. See ya.